Chinese automakers have taken over the market pretty well in the UAE. But have you ever seen a luxury Chinese sedan? An affordable luxury Chinese sedan? Right behind me is the Geely Preface. The Geely Preface is Geely's way of saying this is the S-Class killer in the Chinese category. Starting from the front, you have this beautiful grille, giving that preface look, a serious stance of the car that comes through. Then you have these LED lights, which is flush into the body, and the day rating lights on the side. And if you come to the top, you have this long bonnet. This bonnet gives that feel of a long sedan, a sporty sedan having the length of it. And I like what Geely is trying to do, bringing that luxury type of feel to it. Now, the Preface has two different trims. Now, one of the trims is this, which is the top end trim. You have these black, glossy 18-inch rims, which I really like. They're really nicely complementing the gunmetal color. And this is a gunmetal finish. If you look down here all the way, it's a pretty long car. And I love that because it gives this also another feel that you're driving a very luxurious sedan and you have more space for the passengers in the back, giving it really more comfortability for the passenger to sit because it's more longer. Now, on the back of the Preface, you have the first thing that really strikes you is this beautiful red LED light strip. Now, at this price point, at 87,000 or the 900 where the car starts, you would not really expect to have full LED systems. You have full LED in the front, you have full LED in the back, and that's really great at this price. And I love the signature feel. You also have this chrome finish on top of it, so when you do come closer, you really do appreciate how beautiful it's made. Now, another thing is you don't want to have a boot button here. Geely wants to be a bit different. You have one button here, press this, and the boot opens. Now, the boot space in the Geely Preface is pretty well. I mean, it's because it's a long vehicle, you do have length to put things inside. You have some sort of storage space here where there is a tire, so you wouldn't really use the space below there, but you do have some space adequately enough to put your day-to-day work and your day-to-day groceries and stuff like that. And it closes. I mean, it did take me a while to figure out how to open it because I thought this is a parking sensor. Now, it's always troublesome to open the bonnet in every car. So even though I open many bonnets, it's always hard to open the bonnet. Underneath here is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, giving out 325 Nm torque, 215 brake horsepower. And here's what I love the thing about the most about the Geely brand and the Preface itself. This may be the top end model. There are two models, the GL and the GF. The GL and GF share the same engine, so it's not like when you purchase a lower trim version that you have a slower engine. You have the same engine, so you don't lose out on horsepower or the engine's compatibility, which I like. Now, as soon as you open the door for the Preface, you're welcomed with this beautiful leather finish. It's a synthetic type of leather, and I love tan color. So they give me a tan color car, so I'll have to talk about how beautiful the seats are. They're perforated, air-cooled and ventilated by both seats, and I love the design. They're really soft. You can see they're pretty soft up, but here's something really special. On this, my driver's seat specifically, you have a built-in speaker. So whenever you have to take a phone call, you can pick it up and no one else will actually hear you because you're speaking quietly, and in the headrest you can hear the person speaking to you. So it's pretty cool, but a little bit creepy at times, especially when you pick up and you think someone's talking to you and it sounds like someone's in your head. Now, the Preface's interior is all about simplicity and luxury, which as you can see, tan gives a luxury vibe. When you talk about simplicity, you talk about space in the car and how really practical it is. Open this up, you have some space down here, you have some extra space here as well, and you have some more space down here. So there's a lot of space. But let's not forget one more thing. Down here, there's also space as well. So the Preface is really practical as a car, as a luxury car you'd expect. And that's, I think, really practical. With all these small spaces you have, you're able to put all your things you need to put, even for the passenger as well. Now, simplicity is really important, and Geely's trying to go with that really well. So you can see there's a massive tablet here, but everything's on this tablet. There's no really any extra buttons around me to control different things, which are not really important. So on the screen, you press the car mode, you have everything you need to see, from your head-eye controls to your sunroof to your setting and to how the car wants to drive and everything else from there, which is pretty simple. And I love the flow of the screen. It's not laggy at all, be it even in the heat. Sometimes a lot of screens lag because it does get very, very hot in this weather. And you control everything from here, your music control, your audio, and you also have a clock display. So when you're driving, you don't want to see anything else. You can also have a screensaver up here. Now down here you have your drive mode, so you can switch your drive mode from sport, eco, comfort, and intelligent. And I like how it's just simply right there on your right side. So when you're driving, you can just move it and switch the mode when you want to drive, and it can show you up your screen here that you switched from eco to comfort to sport. Now, a lot of people have this problem where they say quality in Chinese car is not there. There's no real quality. Well, the Preface does have that quality. It does when, especially when you look at the steering wheel, you have this two-tone finish, whether you have this nice black finish with the tan finish, a nice stitching around it. Super simple. The wheel's not so bulky. It's nicely well fit in your hands, even the massive hands here. And when you come to the plastic of the car, the plastic is really nicely put together. It's not how I would say hard plastic, if you can hear it. It's nice and soft, so you can press it as well. To open the door, you usually have handles here, but in the Preface, you have to just put your 2 fingers down here, pull the lever up, and the door opens. And I find this very user-friendly and easy to do, because usually, even though you have to do this, this is more of a pain to pull your arm like this if you keep doing it. Where your hand is rested, put it here, open, and it's more comfortable to do so. So this is something that in an affordable luxury sedan you would not really expect. And another thing which I really do like about the Preface is the Windows buttons. Yes, I know people think, whoa, that's just a normal window button. Why do you think that is more luxurious? How does that bring more luxury into the car? Well, this is how it does. A normal window button is something you have to pick up and pull. This one you can just push and the window goes down. This is really well thought. I'll tell you why. Because the idea of pulling the window is very different, and when you push it is very different as well. Instead of going your fingers inside, pulling it up, it's kind of off. So I really do like how Geely's thought about putting your hand here, opening it in a more luxurious style. Even the buttons or the window buttons are made of aluminum. So there is quality across the vehicle, and I really do appreciate what Geely's trying to do with the Preface. There's a nice plastic trim running down the side here. This also is really nice, and I do appreciate how it's running across the front of the body here and the front of the interior. So it has a nice mat. It's just not one side. You have this nice stitching going around the side as well, giving it that more premium quality feel. And I really do appreciate it, because it does not feel like it's fake. It's nice and soft and padded as well. So everywhere you touch is nicely padded. There's no place where I feel like, oh, it's really hard here for some reason. That's really off. Everywhere else is really nicely padded. Even the dash down here, it's soft plastic. It is not hard, because usually even below the dash it's always hard plastic. Now when you hop in the back of the Preface, obviously being a luxury affordable sedan, you expect to have enough space in the back, and which I do. I'm 6 foot. I can comfortably sit my legs down here. I'm really comfortable in this car. Even though I'm really tall, you have enough headroom here. You're really comfortable with your armrest here, and you have an armrest you can pull down here. Put this down here, and this is not the armrest that goes all the way down to the seat. It's well heighted, so I can sit down, enjoy my ride, and have some lights here to see some reading lights. More of the Preface luxury idea. I like how it feels. You have this black finish at the top, giving that feel of tan blackness, and I love how it's across the interior as well. There's a mix of black, there's a mix of tan. It's really well put. Nice vents here. You have one USB-C port, you have a USB-A port, and some space here, some space down here. So in the back, a 10 out of 10 from my side. Now let's get to the part where everyone wants to know about how does it drive. Put it into drive with this selector here. As I said, there is very simple. You don't have any extra gearbox here, which I really like. It's very simply in front everything you want to see and everything you want to do. Now the first thing is, when you especially start driving, the car is super quiet. It might have that 4-cylinder, but the soundproofing around the engine is really well done. I've picked up a few people in my car, and people have asked me, Abdullah, is this an electric? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's a 4-cylinder turbo. Because how well and how quiet it is. And that's, as I've mentioned, what you expect from a luxury type of sedan. You expect it to be quiet, you expect it to be luxurious and elegantly to drive. In terms of handling, the car does handle really well, because it's lowered, and it's actually pretty low, but being pretty low gives it more stability, but it doesn't compromise in comfort as well. So whenever you take a speed breaker, you appreciate its stability as well as how comfortable it is on every speed breaker. And the steering wheel is like butter. I'll be honest, it is literally butter. You can move it with the fingers, you can see here. Super comfortable, super easy. So imagine taking those U-turns and taking those turns in Muhammad bin Zayed. No, there's no turns in Muhammad bin Zayed actually. But when you do take an exit, you want to be having something really comfortable. We're approaching a speed breaker right now, and super elegant, super flawless. I like it. There's no air suspension. There's nothing extra that's super expensive in this car. It's an affordable luxury sedan, and that's what you're really paying for, and that's what you're really getting. It's quiet, it's simple, it's easy. Now when it comes to power, there is no way I can say the car is underpowered. Geely's done a fantastic job with this 4-cylinder turbo. The car is able to push out really well enough power. So if I do put it in sport mode, as I can right now, put it in sport mode and you accelerate, keeps going. It really does keep going. And it's not even that lousy, noisy engine that makes so much noise but doesn't go anywhere. The brakes, really strong. Put your foot down. I mean, there's a very small travel gap between the end of the pedal and the brake pedal. So you do press it, you do stop really quickly. I really like that. I really appreciate car makers who do that, because in emergency, you want to stop, you want to have immediate access to pull the brake pedal and stop down. A few things other which I do like is about my view. Now, this is called a 540-degree type of view, Geely calls it, where you have a lot of ability to see everything. Even with your B pillar here, I'm able to see my left, my right. There's a very small blind spot. Even so, if I make an indicator, the pillar right here is not so big, so I'm able to see my blind spot on my left. The car also does have an assistive driving feature. So when assistive driving, it does pretty well, but I would not use it always, because the car does tend to apply the brake really quickly when a car door joins the lane. So you could definitely use it in traffic. It really helps well in traffic. But when driving on the motorway and you want to put it at 140 and you put it on, and if a car joins the lanes, it will put you back 130 even with the closest setting. Being a 4-cylinder turbo, you really have excellent fuel consumption, an average of 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's really great. I mean, I've been driving Comfort and Eco, so it's really been comfortable, and the car is really quietly comfortable. The quieter the car, the more comfortable it is. Don't get me wrong, you would appreciate a V12 in an engine and you'd want it to be really quick and fast, but you also want something that's really fuel efficient as well. So the Preface is not really compromising in any of that. Now, what's my verdict on the Preface? Well, the Preface is an excellent, affordable Chinese luxury sedan. It has its quality, it has simplicity, excellent engine, excellent power. There is nothing that I would say would technically be wrong with this car, except for the driving system, which really sets you a big distance when you drive. But other than that, a really 9 out of 10 with the Preface. I really do enjoy it. It's really simple and I love it. What do you think about the Preface? And do you really think that Chinese automakers have taken over the market in the UAE? I personally think they have, and they're doing a fantastic job with it. Price point, everything else, top notch. Talk to you guys soon, inshallah, and see you guys on our next review.